Hey there, America! Buckle up, because tonight we're diving into the wacky world of trade wars, specifically the steel cage match between the US and China. Now you might be thinking, trade wars? That sounds about as exciting as watching paint dry. But hold your horses, because this ain't your grandpappy's trade spat. This is a full-blown economic showdown with global implications. Think of it like this. Remember Detroit, the Motor City? Yeah, well, Detroit's story is basically America's story in a nutshell. We build things, we make things, and we sell those things to the world. But here's the kicker. Our economies are more intertwined than a plate of spaghetti and meatballs. What happens in Beijing doesn't stay in Beijing. It ripples across the Pacific and lands right on our doorstep. And when those ripples take the form of tariffs and trade barriers, well, things can get messy fast. So tonight we're breaking down the US-China trade war and its impact on good old American industries. First up, let's talk cars. America loves its cars. We love driving them, we love building them, and we especially love complaining about them. But when it comes to the US-China trade war, the auto industry is feeling the heat like a tailpipe on a summer day. Remember those tariffs we mentioned? Yeah, well, in 2018, the Trump administration slapped a 25% tariff on imported steel and a 10% tariff on aluminum. Now, on the surface, this might sound like a good thing. Protect American jobs, they said. But here's the catch. Those tariffs didn't just magically boost American steel and aluminum production. Instead, they raised costs for American manufacturers, including those who build our beloved cars. See, car makers rely on steel and aluminum. It's kind of important for, the whole building a car thing. And with those tariffs in place, the price of those raw materials shot up, putting a squeeze on American automakers. Suddenly, building cars in America got a whole lot more expensive. And you know what happens when things get more expensive? That's right, prices go up. So, while the tariffs might have been intended to protect American jobs, they ended up hurting the very industry they were supposed to help. Now, you didn't think China was just going to sit there and take it, did you? Oh no, my friends. China is like that friend who always has to have the last word in an argument. And their weapon of choice? Retaliatory tariffs, of course. See, when America imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, China decided to play hardball. They retaliated with their own tariffs on American products, including, you guessed it, cars. Now, China is a huge market for American automakers. We're talking millions of cars sold each year, but with those retaliatory tariffs in place, American cars became more expensive in China. And you know what happens when American cars get more expensive in China? That's right, people buy less of them. They might opt for a cheaper Chinese brand, or maybe they decide to hold on to their old clunker for a little longer. Either way, American automakers felt the pinch. So, not only were American automakers dealing with higher costs for steel and aluminum, but they were also facing a shrinking market for their products in China. It was a double whammy, a 1-2 punch that left the industry reeling. Now, it's important to note that the auto industry's woes can't all be blamed on the trade war. It's like blaming your messy roommate for the fact that you're late for work. Sure, they might not have helped the situation, but there are probably other factors at play too. The auto industry is facing a perfect storm of challenges, and the trade war is just one gust of wind in this economic hurricane. We're talking about the rise of electric vehicles, which are changing the game in terms of manufacturing and supply chains. Then there's the ongoing chip shortage, which has disrupted production lines and left dealers with empty lots. The point is, the auto industry is at a crossroads. Section 5 Silicon Valley on Edge Tech's China dependence. Alright, enough about cars. Let's talk tech, baby. Silicon Valley, the land of unicorns, venture capitalists, and gadgets that become obsolete faster than a carton of milk. It's the epicenter of American innovation, the place where the future is being invented, one app update at a time. But even the mighty tech industry isn't immune to the trade war blues. See, American tech companies have a bit of a China dependency. We're not talking about a casual, I borrowed your charger once kind of dependency. We're talking about a full-blown, I need you to function kind of dependency. Specifically, American tech companies rely on China for two very important things: semiconductors and lithium-ion batteries. Semiconductors are those tiny little chips that power everything from your smartphone to your refrigerator to your self-driving toaster. It's coming, folks. And China is kind of a big deal in this semiconductor world. Then there are lithium-ion batteries. These are the powerhouses that keep our phones charged, our laptops running, and our electric cars rolling. Section 6. Decoupling and disruption, the search for alternatives. Now you might be thinking, well, can't American tech companies just find other suppliers? And the answer is, well, they're trying, but it's not as easy as swapping out your iPhone charger for an Android one. Building a resilient and diversified supply chain takes time, money, and a whole lot of effort. Think of it like this. You've been getting your morning coffee from the same place for years. You know the barista, you know the order by heart, and they even have your favorite oat milk on hand. But then, one day, your go-to coffee shop closes down. Now, you have to find a new coffee spot. You could go to the big chain down the street, but the coffee's not as good. Or you could try that cute little independent place, but they always have a line out the door. It's a hassle. And that's kind of what American tech companies are going through right now. They're trying to decouple from China to find alternative sources for semiconductors, batteries, and other critical components. But it's a slow and challenging process. Section 7. Rare Earth Rumble, China's Grip on Tech's Building Blocks. Now let's talk about something a little less familiar, rare earth minerals. Don't worry if you haven't thought about these since high school chemistry class. Most people haven't. But here's the thing. Rare earth minerals are essential for a whole host of technologies, including smartphones, electric vehicles, and even those fancy fighter jets that keep our skies safe from pigeons, or, actual threats. And guess what? China has a near monopoly on rare earth minerals. They control the lion's share of global production and processing. This gives China enormous leverage in the tech world. It's like being the only gas station in a town where everyone drives gas-guzzling SUVs. So, while the trade war might be focused on things like soybeans and steel, China's dominance in rare earth minerals gives them a powerful card to play. It's a battle for control over the building blocks of the 21st century. Section 8. Fields of Frustration, American Farmers Caught in the Crossfire. Let's shift gears and talk about America's heartland, the vast fields and farms that feed our nation. Agriculture is the backbone of the American economy, a sector that embodies hard work, resilience, and the ability to grow things that would put your grandma's prize-winning zucchini to shame. But American farmers have found themselves caught in the crossfire of the US-China trade war. See, China used to be a huge market for American agricultural products, especially soybeans. We're talking billions of dollars worth of soybeans shipped across the Pacific each year. But then the trade war hit, and China slapped retaliatory tariffs on American agricultural imports, including those precious soybeans. This left American farmers with a soybean surplus, driving down prices and squeezing their profits. Section 9. Currency Conundrum, China's UN Playbook. Now, let's talk about something a little more abstract, currency manipulation. Don't worry, we'll keep it simple. Basically, currency manipulation is when a country deliberately weakens its currency to make its exports cheaper and more competitive on the global market. Think of it like this. Imagine you're at a flea market and you're trying to sell some handmade jewelry, but the vendor next to you is selling similar jewelry for half the price. You're not going to sell much, are you? So, what do? You could lower your prices, but that would eat into your profits. Or you could find a way to make your currency weaker so your prices seem more attractive to foreign buyers. That's kind of what China has been accused of doing with its currency, the yuan. By weakening the yuan, China makes its exports cheaper for buyers in other countries, giving them a competitive edge. Section 10. Rising Stars, New Winners in the Global Marketplace. Now, it's not all doom and gloom in the world of global trade. While the US and China duke it out, other countries are seizing the opportunity to step up their game and become major players on the world stage. Think of it like this. Imagine you're at a party, and the two most popular kids in school are having a very public and very messy breakup. Suddenly, all eyes are on them, and nobody's paying attention to anyone else. But then, there you are, standing in the corner, quietly sipping your punch, looking effortlessly cool and collected. That's kind of what's happening with countries like Vietnam and Mexico. While the US and China are embroiled in their trade war, these countries are quietly attracting foreign investment, boosting their manufacturing capabilities, and becoming increasingly attractive alternatives for businesses looking to diversify their supply chains. And as the US-China trade war drags on, these rising stars are well positioned to capitalize on the shifting dynamics of global trade. Section 11. A Shifting World Order, the Future of Economic Power. So, what does the future hold for the global economy? Will the US and China eventually bury the hatchet and go back to being BFFs, best frenemies forever? Or are we witnessing a fundamental shift in the balance of economic power? The truth is, nobody knows for sure. But one thing is clear. The US-China trade war has exposed the vulnerabilities of a globalized economy, highlighting the risks of interconnectedness and the potential consequences of political brinkmanship. As we navigate this uncertain terrain, one thing is for sure. The world is watching, and the decisions we make today will have far-reaching implications for decades to come. So that's our show for tonight, folks. Now go forth and impress your friends with your newfound knowledge of trade wars, currency manipulation, and the ever-evolving landscape of global commerce. And be sure to let us know in the comments what you think the future holds for the global economy.